How you all doing today? Today we're going to talk about curves and taking curves and how not to target fixate and how to do curves properly, the proper lines, and what to watch out for. So here we go. Let's head on down and find us some nice curves and go through the process. Hope you guys enjoy. Through greed here, it's more fun that way. I mean, you don't have to worry about people riding your butt. You can just enjoy the ride. You can just cruise, and chances are there are going to be a lot more curves. Now, because we are going through a lot of curves on this road here, and we'll be taking out to their cheese, I just want to go over a few things, like especially some things that a beginning rider should really know and understand. Is that when you're going through a curve, as you're starting out, there's a lot of people out there, I know a couple of them, where it's like when they're starting out, they see those videos on YouTube or whatever where people are like getting down low, you know, scraping their pegs on the concrete, going through the curve. That's all well and good, but you know, for a beginning rider, I think you should understand a few ground rules for going around curves. Is that when you come up to a curve, you want to slow down as you're entering the curve, but don't ever hit your front brake through the curve, because first off, that'll more than likely send you into a slide if you lock up your front brake. Secondly, the other thing is that you always want to look through your curve, and as you're at the peak of your curve, you know, halfway through your curve, basically, that's when you want to start giving it some more throttle, and you want to start giving it some more gas and everything, and picking up a bit more speed. For when you come out of the curve, you're back up to your speed limit. The other thing is that, like I said, always look through your curve. Like, pick a spot, keep your eye focused in that direction, and don't just stare at that one spot, but you know, just constantly keep an eye out throughout the curve, and pretty much eyeball where you want your bike to be when you come out of the curve. Now, as far as that goes, as you get better at it, as you come through a curve, it'll help you with better line. And what I mean by that is, when you start your curve, your curve, because there's two lines basically. You can start out inside like this, and as you're going through the curve, you'll end up going wide, and then back in narrow. Then if you have an opposite curve, like kind of like what I just did, is that first curve. I started over here. I ended up going out wide along the yellow line, and when I came out of my curve, I was back in that same position I started the curve in. Now the other curve is this one where you go in and you basically go in toward the shoulder, and as you come out you should end up, depending on how big of a turn it is, you should come out pretty much in the same spot. But there is another line where you can basically, you're not making up your own line or anything. You pick which is comfortable for you, and as you do it, like you can even stay in this outside part here, and as you're going through the curve, you can actually keep that nice line where you stay in the same spot throughout the curve. So you're staying along this line, and as you go through the curve, you're still along that line. Sort of like this. And see, that's how you see, that's what most people you see on YouTube when they're, grinding their pegs on the ground or whatever. That's what they're doing. Now, you also got to think about counter steering. Now, counter steering, I'm not completely 100% on. I'm not going to lie. Counter steering, I still don't completely understand. But basically, if you're going through a curve, and especially if you want to grind your pegs, so I wouldn't suggest it until you have more experience. You want to actually shift your butt over toward that direction of the curve, so that when you go through the curve, you got more not downforce, but more. That wasn't a very good curve to practice on. But you want to kind of shift your weight toward that direction you're turning. That'll help you get that curve. The other thing is that counter steering is basically where you're pushing down, you push your bike in the direction of the curve, but your body is kind of leaning in the opposite direction. That's to help, like when fast maneuvering, like if you have to avoid something, like in the driver's course, depending on where you're at. I know in my town, what they teach you is they have this, like basically coming up on a bus or something that stops suddenly, and you want to avoid that obstacle. You pick a side, you check. Obviously, you want to check. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. That's freaking clear on there. It's a blind corner. But you want to check, obviously, the direction you're going to go. You want to push your bike that way, and then kind of, as you're coming back straight, you want to back. Obviously, you're going to go like this and like that. That's kind of counter steering. But the one thing you definitely don't want to do when you're taking curves is you don't want to target fixate, which is, as you're going through the curve, like I said, you look the direction, you look through your curve, make sure it's clear, make sure there's no gravel or nothing, so you make sure there's no obstacles you have to avoid, or that if there is an obstacle, you see it soon enough that you can avoid it. Target fixating is if, say I'm going through this curve, say I'm going through a curve, okay, and I fixate on that telephone pole. Chances are, if you fixate on something too long, and you're not paying attention to what's in front of you, and it happens to a lot of people, even the most experienced riders, what's going to happen is you're going to end up, you basically go where you look, okay? So if you're looking somewhere, like say I'm looking at that sign that has an arrow or whatever, if I fixate on that thing, chances are, if I don't pay attention, I'm heading that way and I'm going off the road. Now, there are videos out there, and I highly suggest watching these videos so that you can see how bad some of these things are and why you definitely shouldn't target fixate. because I've seen a couple where there's people going through curves just like this, where there's guardrails. One of them is not paying attention. He target fixates on that guardrail, and what happens is he went straight toward that thing. He didn't even react or nothing. He didn't even try hitting his brakes or nothing. He was just fixated on that thing, oblivious. Ran straight through some gravel. Hopefully that, luckily, this guy, I'm not gonna lie, it was lucky that he hit that gravel, because when he hit that gravel, he was on a regular bike, kind of sport bike or Harley, I don't remember what it was, but he wasn't on like a dual sport or anything like that. So immediately, once he hit that gravel, his bike lost control, put him into a slide, and his bike hit the guardrail, and he kind of slid, and just before he hit the guardrail, came to a stop. Now, in other occasions, like where you have the guardrails on this road, those short little guardrails, it's the worst case scenario when you target fixate on a guardrail, especially when there's a little cliff. Now this isn't a cliff. You target fixate on that thing, and there's no gravel, there's no turnout for cars to stop or anything, where there's a bunch of gravel, that'll put your bike into a slide. You target fixate on that thing, your bike is going to hit that thing so hard, and you're going to go flying over that guardrail. Now there's another video out there that I've seen where the guy got lucky enough that he did exactly that, and I'm pretty sure this is in the Baker Derek video. I highly suggest you go watch him. He's a great YouTuber. I love him. I've been watching him since I started riding, before I started riding, and I'm pretty sure it was his video, one of his videos, I'm not 100%, where he was riding with somebody, or he talked about somebody that was riding, but they had actually hit a guardrail on the freeway with a huge cliff on the opposite side of the guardrail. The guy got lucky that he was either able to hang on, or that he just flipped over and landed on the opposite side of the guardrail where there's a little bit of a landing, basically. But his bike just went tumbling down that cliff. Now that's worst case scenario. That's 100% why you don't target fixate, and be extra careful when you're going through curves. Like I said, look where you're going, watch for obstacles, pick a line that's comfortable for you, and if you want to grind your pegs, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I mean, it is fun sometimes, but if you want to grind your pegs, I highly suggest wait a couple of years till you have more experience and you can perfect that line. I mean, honestly, just be safe out there, guys, when you're doing these curves. Curves are fun, I'm not gonna lie. It's just fun to go around curve. There are some days where it's like I see a curve and I want to go through it as fast as I can. There are some days like today where it's just I just want to cruise. I'm not worried about going around those curves, grinding my pegs or nothing. I haven't done that in a couple of years. I'd much rather just enjoy the ride, which is what I hope you all do too. Just go out there, have fun, maybe meet some new people, enjoy the ride. I can make, no matter where you live, if you ride a motorcycle, I always look for the back roads like this old Natchez Highway, or that road that we just came off of that was through Glebe here. It's more fun that way. I mean, you don't have to worry about people riding your butt. You can just enjoy the ride. You can just cruise. And chances are there are going to be a lot more curves.